Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastuma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarchinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandhadami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Sunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sankapada Panishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasti Tadadgatena Manasam Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidhusurasraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste. Yadrichalapa santushtaha dvandvatito vimatsaraha samassiddhava siddhaucha kritvapi na nibhadyate. So as I explained, the simple meaning of this sloka is the one who is fully content with whatever is obtained by chance, the one who is unaffected by the pairs of opposites, and the one who remains free from jealousy, one who is equanimous in success and failure. Such a person, though engaged in action, he is not bound. Na nibhadyate, says. Okay. One second. So this, as I said, this verse can be taken as either a Grihastha Jnani sloka, or a sloka describing a Grihastha Jnani, or even a Sannyasi Jnani sloka also we can take. One can interpret, both the ways. Shankaracharya, of course, in his commentary, takes this verse as the description of a Sannyasi Jnani. But in the parampara that we are following now, like Swami Chinmayananda, Swami Dayananda Saraswati, and Swami Paramarthananda and all, they are interpreting it both the ways, because the sannyasa ashrama has become very, very narrow today. So if you take it only as a sannyasa jnani, people who can aspire for moksha becomes a very, very small group of people. So with the intention that this message, this mumukshutvam should be encouraged even in grihasthas. In fact, it should be more encouraged in grihasthas, because all the samsara problem sannyasi doesn't face. Grihastha only faces all the problems of samsara. Therefore, these kind of slokas are very good for understanding for a grihastha what jnanam is, what he should work for, what are the sadhanas that he should work for. Because ultimately, if you look at it, between a grihastha jnani and a sannyasi jnani, there is no difference in the attitude in life. This attitude one needs to develop, yadricha labha santushtaha attitude. Whatever I am getting by the grace of God, I will accept it happily. That is the basic sannyasi. I have given up total sharanagati to the powers that are. Total surrender to Bhagawad. Whatever he feels, let him or he feels. As I said, it is not that I go by my desire. I will accept whatever I deserve, because I have fully understood what the law of karma is. What I am getting today is the result of what I have done in the past, the seeds that I have sown in the past. I cannot expect to sow a seed of some mango tree and expect some apples to come out of that. So what I have sown, I am getting the result of that. That is the attitude which a jnani develops. So he doesn't bother about what he is getting. He doesn't correlate it with whatever effort he has put in, whatever time he has spent, with whatever commitment and involvement he has been engaging in action. He doesn't bother about that. He has fully assimilated the knowledge that what is under my control is what I can do now. What is not in my control is the result of that action. That he has fully. So this is the attitude for a jnani. So whether it is sannyasa jnani or a grihastha jnani, there is no difference. That's why he says yadricha lapa santushtaha. He welcomes whatever happens in life as a result of his own karma. He is satisfied with whatever comes to him as a result of his action. This is a very important lesson that we have to remember throughout our life. If you just stick to this itself, if you understand how the law of karma works and that whatever I am getting is because of my law of karma. It is not that I have done only papam in my previous janma. I would have done lot of punyam also. Today, if I am suffering, it is because of the papa karma results. But this suffering is not going to last long. It will change when my punya karmas mature for giving results. I will have good times. So then I become equanimous, whether it is bad time or good time. When I have this attitude of yadricha lapa santushtaha, then that equanimity automatically develops. But we should be careful, because normally what happens is we tend to go to two extremes. As I said in the last class, there are one set of people who claim I can design my future. I am the master of my future. I can totally control my future. This is one extreme. As I said, arrogant type of people who will not even recognize the role of Daivam or God or anything. And they will talk like that until they get a good thrashing. Good thrashing from what? From Bhagavan, the cosmic powers, which we call Ishvara. So no human being can claim that he is total master of his future. As I said, even when Bhagavan came as an avatara, he could not totally decide what was going to happen. And the second extreme, of course, is that the fatalistic type. I cannot do anything, everything decided by Bhagavan, so I give up. The reality lies in between these two extremes. I will control whatever I can control. I will accept Bhagavan's decision for all those factors which I cannot control. All such factors which is not in my control, put together, we call it Daivam. Why? Because the factors are numerous. Countless factors can influence what you get out of your action. Right from weather onwards, right from a war happening somewhere away, it could actually affect your future. Everything can influence today's condition. In fact, there is a theory that the flutter of a butterfly can impact the weather. And somebody said you cannot pluck a flower without disturbing a star. That means that the entire universe is interconnected. We have realized that that is a possibility to connect through this all internet and all that, isn't it? What is that? It is only we have created an artificial connection, but the artificial connection could not have been done unless otherwise naturally the universe is interconnected. And therefore, the number of factors that will determine my future is so numerous that instead of enumerating them 1, 2, 3, 4, we have put, the Shastra puts all the extraneous factors into one huge bag, one huge group. We call it Daivam or Prarabdham or Ishvara Icha, God's will, etc. Ultimately, all these means only one thing. What you sow, so you reap. That's it. And this helps us, the understanding of this helps us to develop a proper attitude. What is that attitude? I contribute my best. And once I have contributed my best, I prepare my mind to receive any type of result. And this attitude is called Yadricha Labha Santushtaha. Yadricha Labha means whatever happens, whatever comes to me as my karma phalam, in that Santushtaha. In fact, some commentators have gone ahead and interpreted this in two ways. Yadricha Labha Santushtaha, whatever comes, he accepts. Yadricha Alapa Santushtaha, whatever does not come also, he accepts that situation. This is the beauty of commentaries on, the scriptures. Scholars, commentators, the Bhashyakaras or Tippanikaras, they see more into these messages than what as normal people or layman we see. So we can take it both ways. Yadricha Labha Santushtaha, Yadricha Alabha Santushtaha also. He accepts all situations, whatever happens. But then again, there is a warning. We should be careful in understanding all these things because human mind is such Whatever you say, there will be something, coming out of that. So whatever comes as karma phalam, it is according to the law of the Lord. I have to accept. That does not mean that we should not work for improving the situation. Because that's what it says, Yadricha Labha Santushta. So I will not do anything. Let whatever comes, I will accept. I am a jnani. This attitude is wrong. Action precedes Yadricha Labha Santushta. Whatever you need to do, you need to do. What this helps us is that if failure happens, because if success happens, nobody is unhappy about it, isn't it? We're all very happy in success. Our problems in life only we face when failure happens. All emotional turmoil, all depression, all this come up when we have failures in life. It could be losing a partner, losing a job, losing money. Whenever there is a failure, we have this problem. So what is the message? If failure happens, I have to accept it because it has happened. I had no choice. If I had a choice, I would have asked for success, but I had no choice. That's why failure has come to me. But at the same time, once I understand that this failure is a result of my past action, with regard to the next result, I have got control. And therefore, I can do whatever has to be done. In fact, I should do whatever has to be done so that in future, the number of failures come down and number of successes go up. Therefore, the message is accept the present, work for the future. Merely worrying about the present cannot change the present. Worrying cannot change the future also. Present requires acceptance. Future requires action, hard work. This is the simple philosophy of Gita. Present, including the past, requires acceptance. Future requires hard work, commitment, dedicated hard work. Both of them do not require worry. Worry does not come into the picture at all. Therefore, Krishna said, Ashocyan Anmashochastvam. Arjuna, you are worrying. 11th sloka, 2nd chapter. You are worrying, but because nothing solves worry. Worry does not solve anything. Worry will only lead you to more and more psychological problems and also even physical health problems. Therefore, yadricha labha santushta. And then once you have developed this attitude, what happens? Dvandva atitaha. One who is beyond the pairs of opposite, which Krishna, if you remember, described in the 2nd chapter in 2 slokas. Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha, sukeshu vigata spriha, vitaraga bhaya krodha, stitadhir muniruchyate. Very beautiful sloka. He has actually, as I said, 2nd chapter was a summary of the entire Gita teaching. So all these topics he just touched in the 2nd chapter. Of course, we did deal with it in detail, discussed it in detail. Another sloka also, the 47th sloka. Sa sarvatrana visneha tat prapya shubha shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratishtita. Both same message only he is giving. Na abhinandati, na abhinandati, na dveshti. He neither, sort of jumps with joy when something good happens. Not dveshti, he does not hate situations which are adversarial for him. He understands that life is nothing but facing a series of pairs of opposite. Summer, winter, hot, cold, success, failure, pairs of day, night, pairs of opposite. And dvandva atitaha means the one who has gone beyond the pairs of opposite. Now the question is, what do you mean by going beyond the pairs of opposite? Going beyond means what? You keep the pairs of opposite in a place and then you jump over it or go beyond it. Is that what it means? In fact, physically you cannot go beyond the opposites. Because wherever you go, there will be pairs of opposite. The entire universe is characterized by pairs of opposites only. Therefore, what is going beyond the pairs of opposite? It is nothing but allowing the pairs of opposites not to disturb the mind. Making the pairs of opposites incapable of disturbing me too much. I go to a very cold place. What can I do about it? I have to just accept it and adjust my situation to the best extent possible. That's all I can do. We can make sure that the pairs of opposite do not disturb us too much. They will disturb, but we can prevent maximum disturbance. But you cannot stop the pairs of opposite. You cannot immunize yourself. Therefore, strengthen yourself. Emotionally protect yourself. It's just like, when you visit a hospital. There's so many patients are there with different diseases. And the chances of your getting infected in a hospital are very high. For that reason, can you avoid visiting an hospital, say visiting some ailing friend or ailing relative? You cannot. Or even take the example of some hill station during the season, summer season, hill station. So much crowd. Or a pilgrim center like Kumbh Mela and all that, millions of people. Can you avoid going there? Maybe some people will say, I don't want to go. But most people who visit are all exposed to all the risks of infection, everything which is there. Where there is a big crowd, lots of diseases could spread. You cannot do anything to change the conditions there. But what you can do is immunize yourself. Therefore, in the same way, you cannot stop the pairs of opposites, but you can protect yourself against them. And what is that protection? Swami Paramathananda ji gives a good example. People from Kerala, of course, even Tamil Nadu and all will know. Mostly from south, they will know. We get this jackfruit in the southern parts of India. It's very nice, very sweet, and very nice to eat. But in order to remove the fruit from that, the edible fruit, lot of work is involved. It is not easy to do that. So what they do, when they cut that fruit in order to process it, the fruit has got one, a very sort of a liquid, pasty liquid which sticks to your hands.
Something like a milk.
Something like a milk. It's color is like a milk, but it's a very sticky liquid, no? Like this gum and all that.
Glue.
Stick to your hand. So then it's very difficult to remove it also from the hand. You have to put so many things, oil and all that, and then only you can remove that sticky fluid. So what people do, even before starting to cut the jackfruit, they will apply lot of oil in their hand. With that, the sticky fluid, even though it comes, it will not stick to their hands. Some coconut oil, some oil they will apply. Then cut the jackfruit. So that oil will protect those people from the sticky liquid. Similarly, apply the coconut oil or oil of jnanam when you enter into the world of pairs of opposites. If you do that, the pairs of opposites will not affect you. You can transcend them. So, dvandvatitaha vimatsaraha. Vimatsaraha means the one who has gone beyond competition. Matsarya bhava is not there. In fact, according to our Shastra, competition is not a healthy thing. Even though borrowing all these kind of philosophies, lifestyle from the Western world, Western world philosophy is what is that? Live and let die. Our philosophy is live and let live. There's a basic difference between the Indian philosophy and the European philosophy. And live and let die, you can do only if you are competitive in your thinking, in your approach. Competition means destroy your opponents. But of course, they justify it saying that competition alone brings the best out of the people, etc. Our Shastra doesn't want to bring the best out of some people. We want to bring the best out of everyone. This kind of a competitive attitude, Shastra feels, is like a drug-induced power. When a person takes certain banned drugs in the Olympic Games, etc., they are called performance-enhancing drugs. But still, it's not accepted. In games, they want a level playing field for everybody. So they ban these kind of the usage of performance-enhancing drugs. What they promote is work hard to become the best. Don't use artificial things for that. Because even though these drugs increases the performance, the side effects of that drugs are not good. And as I said, most importantly, it does not provide a level playing field for all. In the same way, Shastra feels that competition may bring the best, but invariably it is going to make you compare with the winner. Invariably, it is going to lead to depression. Invariably, it is going to lead to jealousy. And invariably, as it is, we are witnessing all around, it will lead to cheating also. Therefore, Shastra frowns upon competition. Shastra says give everybody an opportunity to excel. So competitive attitude itself is not frowned upon. But whatever we are employing to become the best, whatever what I would call it, adharmic ways we adopt to become the best or show yourself as the best, that is what Shastra frowns upon. Therefore, all what we are witnessing today, whether it is the sports field or whether it is the corporate field, it's all the side effects of this competitive attitude. Our Shastra says love and cooperation must be the means of performance enhancing, not Matsarya. And that is why Matsaryam is included in the Shad Ripu, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. And a Jnani is one who does not have this problem of competition. As such, if he is a sannyasi Jnani, he will have very less competition. Grihastha Jnani also, he has very less competition because 1 in a billion or 1 in a million only becomes a Jnani. Rather. He understands, he gets that, gains that knowledge. In fact, he solved the problem of competition so much that people actually run away from a Jnani. They don't come to say occupy his position rather. So, when there is no competition, when somebody wins, when somebody performs better, I can be happy for that person, I can congratulate that person, I can support that person. Otherwise, what will happen? You are lost, but you will still go and say congratulations. Just a lip service. While in the heart there will be jealousy, heart burning. Therefore, a Jnani is Vimatsaraha. Then Samaha Siddhava Siddhaucha. Siddhihi means success. Asiddhihi means failure. Samaha means equanimous. As we discussed in the last class, according to Vedanta, success is defined as the capacity to manage both successes and failures of life. One of the most important messages Puja Swamiji has given. That is true success. Because nobody can get 100% success in life. There are people, there are seminars held, there are, huge amount of money is collected. How to get success always. The only people, if the seminar is well attended, or who are successful in such sessions are the people who are conducting the seminar. They go on conducting the seminar, earning a lot of money, and they are always successful. People who attend the seminar, the moment they go back to their workplace or to the family, they will face failures. There is no method to have 100% eternal success. Because if there was such a method, Krishna would have talked about it in Bhagavad Gita. He would not talk about moksha and all. He'll say, okay, I will now give you the tips for how to be success always. Krishna knows there is no such thing. That's why he doesn't teach that. He teaches jnanam. And what is the purpose of jnanam? It is not to get success all the time, but it is the development of the capacity to face both adverse as well as favorable situation, adverse as well as favorable circumstances in life. And the beauty is you don't need to work for failure. That will come naturally rather. You work for success, no problem with that. But what the jnanam is, whether success comes or failure comes, I am ready for both. That is the jnanam, that is the knowledge, that is the wisdom. And that is called Samaha Siddhava Siddhaucha. And that person is truly a successful person. And such a person, kritvapi, even though he is extremely active as a grihastha. Remember, we are discussing this sloka in the context of a grihastha jnani. So, such a grihastha jnani, kritvapi, even if he is a sannyasi jnani, he might be involved in loka sangraha karmani, like establishing ashramas. And even in that also, there will be successes and there will be failures. Because establishing and running an ashrama has got its own challenges. It's not at all easy. Therefore, whether a grihastha jnani fulfilling the family and social duties, or whether he is a sannyasi jnani involved in welfare activities, kritvapi, as even he is engaged in the activities, nanibadhyate, those actions no longer bind him. There are no more shackles for him. He enjoys playing the game. For him, all the actions he does is a sport or a leela. This word leela is a beautiful word. A jnani's action is called leela, like a sport or a game. For ajnani, every action is a struggle. The action remaining the same, jnanam makes it a game, ajnanam makes it a struggle, a fight, a war. So this is the message of this sloka, one of the most important slokas for all mumukshus. What kind of an attitude I should develop, what kind of a knowledge I should gain, how should I face my life. All those are very beautifully summarized in one sloka by Krishna. Now we will continue. Gata sangasya muktasya yanavastita chetasaha yajnaya charata karma samagram praviliyate. The anvaya of this sloka is Gata sangasya muktasya jnana avastita chetasaha yajnaya acharatah karma samagram praviliyate. Gata sangasya, the one who is free from attachment. Mukta sangasya, the one who is independent. Muktasya, the one who is independent. Jnana avastita chetasaha, of one whose mind is established in the knowledge. Jnana avastita, established in the knowledge. Yajnaya karma acharataha, and the one who acts for the sake, all his actions are in the form of a yajna, in the form of an offering to the God. Ishwararpana buddhi, who does all his actions with Ishwararpana bhava, samagram praviliyate, completely dissolves. What dissolves? All his karmas dissolve completely. So the entire action of one whose mind is established in knowledge, who is free from attachment, who is independent, and who acts for the sake of yajna alone, all those actions are, where we say here karma means karma phala or punya papa, they all dissolve. So again in this verse also a grihastha jnani is described. All these verses are quite important because, as I said, many people wonder whether sannyasa is required to become a mukta purusha. And there arises a conflict. In fact, for a very long time, even when I started Vedanta, studies, I was also under the same impression. In fact, I told my wife also that someday I will take sannyasa and go and pursue this. And the saving grace was to get the sannyasa diksha. If you are married, no guru will give you a diksha unless the wife consents. In case you are a bachelor, mother should consent. My wife put her foot and said, nothing doing. You are not going to leave us. That time I could not realize that we could still make progress in this. You can still have mumukshutvam, progress towards moksha, do all that is to be done. It is not something that you need to do. It is something you need to know. What is important is knowledge. What is not important or what is lesser important is the sadhanas. So this problem, I'm sure many people have got. That can I, as a grihastha, become a jnani? But there is a conflict. I've got my responsibilities, I've got my duties. When I do my duties, I will attract punya papa. That will lead to next birth and all this. So what is the point in doing all these things? So Krishna resolves this conflict by saying that sannyasa is not a must. What sannyasa gives you only freedom from all commitments, all liabilities, all responsibilities, all duties, for you to pursue self-knowledge, atma-jnanam, in a focused manner. Whereas a grihastha has to continue to discharge his duties and responsibilities. At the same time, he needs to gain this atma-jnanam. It is like walking on a tight rope for grihastha. But you can walk on a tight rope. You need to balance. We have seen the tightrope walkers. What they do, they will have one pole or some long stick in their hand. With that, they will balance. If it's tilting this way, they will use the pole to, come to the center of gravity. So it is not difficult. It is probably more challenging. So Krishna resolves this conflict by saying sannyasa is not a must. Physical renunciation is not a must. What is important is inner detachment. There is no choice with regard to inner detachment. Whether you are a sannyasi or grihastha, both require inner detachment. Then only this is possible. But with regard to the physical renunciation, it is not compulsory. That is the message Krishna wants to give through all these slokas. Therefore, he says, Gata Sangasya. This grihastha jnani has given up attachment to things. He does not claim anything as his own. His attitude is that everything belongs to Bhagavan alone. Because the entire Srishti is Bhagavan's Srishti. When he says, my son belongs to me, my daughter belongs to me. Why? Because you have given birth to them. You claim ownership. So this grihastha jnani goes one step further. The Bhagavan is given this entire Srishti. The whole world, the Srishti, belongs to Bhagavan alone. If I have been put in this position as a human being, it is again because of Bhagavan's creation only. Bhagavan has seen my past karmas, has gifted me this human life. And I possess this gift of the Lord for my temporary use, by which I will contribute to the growth of all other people, all other beings. And in the process, it will contribute to my growth also. Therefore, I cannot hold on to anything. It is God's will to give it to me. It is God's will to take anything away from me at any time, including my physical body. Whenever Lord decides, it will go away. And therefore, a Jnani's attitude is, I am thankful for God's gift. I love them. I care for them. I do whatever I have to do for them. But I remember all the time that everyone around me, everything around me belongs to the Lord. And when this attitude you develop, that person becomes Gata Sangaha. He uses the things, he is associated with the things, but he is not hooked to anyone or anything. Because being associated is one thing, being hooked is another thing. In association, I am free. And if I am hooked, there is a potential danger. There is a danger of emotional entanglement. And therefore, Gata Sangaha. And once I develop this detachment, this attitude that everything around me belongs to the Lord, there is a great relief. What is the relief? Even my family belongs to the Lord. Lord is there, He will take care. Why should I worry beyond a particular point? All my responsibility Lord has given me is to do whatever is required to be done for the family. As a duty, as a responsibility, that's all. I do my part. Whatever happens, again, it depends that there are things which are not in my control at all, which I understand. So because of all of this that I am doing for my family, whatever happens, it is Lord's Ichha, Ishvara Ichha. So it is, and also more importantly, it is their own individual karma phalas. I have done my best. Leave less to the Lord, to the Lord. So there's a great relief from responsibilities, relief from tension, freedom from anxiety. You're free from questions like, who will take care of my family after my death, etc. Because death normally this is one of the biggest worries people have, whether it is a male or a female rather. When a senior in the family, what will happen after my death? My wife doesn't know anything. I have been managing everything. After my death, what will happen to my wife? How she will manage all these things? My children, they are already gone away, got married. They are not in touch regularly. Once in a while, they will call and say, how are you? Maybe once in 2-3 years, they will make a short visit. All these worries, they are there, they are real. So what is the attitude? You cannot do anything about it. Why worry about it? You do whatever you have to do. And afterwards, leave it to the Lord. Oh Lord, I have done whatever best. Now do whatever you think is best for my family when I am no longer there. That Lord will take care of. Just reflect upon the fact that how many people have had this kind of a worry, what will happen to my family? And they've gone away, and what has happened to their family? Maybe there is some period of mourning and shock and things like that, but everybody continues to live on their lives. Nothing, no big calamity happens. Even people who have lost both their parents in some accident or anything, they also continue to live their life. So if you look at this and holistically, there is no room for worry at all. Well, if I don't understand this, what will I do? I will poke my nose into the lives of others and cross the LOC. LOC is line of control. And consequently get into problems. Since all these things are not there, there is a great relief and relaxation. And that is what is called moksha or mukti. So freedom is not some kind of a mysterious thing to be acquired in a mysterious world. Freedom means freedom from anxiety, freedom from tension, freedom from worry, freedom from insecurity. This is the freedom. This is what moksha is. Therefore, he says muktasya, such a free person. Gatasangasya muktasya. All he has got this because of the detachment. And he got detachment because of this knowledge. And therefore, Krishna says, Jnana Vastita Chetasaha. The detachment is because he is established in this knowledge. His mind never loses the sight of this teaching because he knows his real nature. He knows I am the Atma and the whole world is Anatma principle. This physical body as well as all other physical bodies are nothing but crystallized matter. They have come from the world, they are sustained in the world, they go moving about in the world, and they are going to resolve back into the world. It's all a temporary phenomenon. The only thing which is permanent is me, my nature, my Swarupa is permanent. My Satchidananda Swarupa is the only thing that is permanent. And because of that, when I know this body has come from the world and it has to go back to the world, how can I claim this body as I? It is like living in a rented house. Can you claim a rented house as your own? You cannot. Similarly, this body is available for my temporary use. Assimilating this knowledge is the only method of getting detachment. Therefore, jnana vastita chetasaha. Therefore, a jnani, a grihastha jnani, never forgets this Vedantic teaching. And such a person, yajnaya karma acharataha. He performs all his actions as worship to the Lord. Ishwararpana bhava. Yajna here means Ishwara puja. So that is the motive behind all his actions. That is the purpose behind all his actions. Offering to the Lord. In the case of Ajnani, the purpose behind the action is not yajna. He engages in action in the hope that the action will produce an expected result. And after getting that expected result, his life will become purnaha. He will be fulfilled. Therefore, apurnatvam is the cause of an ajnani's action, whereas a jnani's action is not triggered by apurnatvam. And ajnani acts for happiness, whereas a jnani acts out of happiness. Acting for happiness and acting out of happiness appears to be a very small difference. But in fact, it is a very mammoth difference, a big difference. When you start practicing only, you will understand the difference. Therefore, yajnaya karma acharataha. And what will happen to his actions, the results of actions in the form of punyam and papam? Krishna says, samagram praviliyate. All his actions completely dissolve without producing either punya or papa. Praviliyate means they get dissolved. They do not add to the agami karma or sanchita karma. You have to recall the example I gave you in the other class, like a roasted seed which cannot germinate. Similarly, a jnani's karma will be like an ajnani's karma in all respects. Jnani will do the same thing like ajnani does, except that an ajnani's karma produces punya or papa, but a jnani's karma does not produce either. Therefore, samagram karma praviliyate. And now in the next sloka, Krishna expounds the total vision, understanding of a jnani. It's again a very, very popular, beautiful sloka. Many of you who have visited ashrams and all would have heard this sloka before we have food. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. The whole Vedanta teaching, the whole Upanishadic teaching, the whole Puranic teaching, Krishna summarizes in one sloka beautifully. In fact, with this one sloka, you can teach the whole Upanishad for years. Such a beautiful sloka it is. The reality he produces in just one sloka. The Anvaya is Arpanam Brahma, Havihi Brahma, Hutam Brahma, Brahma Agnau, Brahmana Brahma Eva Gantavyam, Tena Brahma Karma Samadhina. Everything is Brahma alone, Brahman alone. And it's not Brahmaji, not the Chaturmukha Brahmaji, but Brahman, the consciousness, the existent consciousness, limitless principle. Arpanam Brahma. This sloka is trying to explain the entire Vedanta by using the example of yajna. Because in the previous sloka he said yajna, worship of the Lord. So here he takes that yajna as example and says that when you look at what does it mean by yajna, when he said yajnaya acharate karma, what does it mean? He takes the real yajna as example. In the yajna, the priest will use one ladle, one wooden spoon to pour ghee, etc., or to make offering. That ladle or the spoon is called arpanam. So arpanam Brahma, the ladle is Brahma. Havihi Brahma, whatever you are offering into the fire, into the Agni is Brahman. Hutam, whatever is offered. Brahma Agnav, into the fire of Brahman. So fire is also Brahman. Brahmana, by the Brahmana. Brahma eva gantavyam. Brahman alone is to be reached. Tena, by him. Brahma karma samadhina. Who sees Brahman in every action? Of course, here he is talking about action. Karma word is used as, but who sees Brahma in everything which is around him? Action, inaction. We have seen that slokas and all. So the ladle is Brahman, the offering is Brahman, it is offered into the fire, which is Brahman, by Brahman. Brahman alone is to be reached by him who sees Brahman in every action and who also sees himself as Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. That is the beauty of this sloka. So with this verse, Krishna is concluding the Jnanam topic in 6 slokas. How beautifully the entire Vedanta he has summarized. And of course, again, one more important verse. I have become tired by saying this is important verse. But this verse stands out because it has a deep philosophical meaning. It's a deep philosophical verse. In fact, in this verse, Krishna makes a big leap in Vedantic teaching. Very big leap. He goes to, after talking about karma and law of karma and all, suddenly he jumps up to the end of Vedantic teaching, the final, what I would call it, the finale of Vedantic teaching. Therefore, we will discuss the significance of this sloka first and then we will go for the word for meaning in the next class. Okay, I'll stop here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much,
Hari
Guruji.
Om.
Namaskara.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Guruji.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Deepavali to you.
Happy
Thank you,
Deepavali to
Guruji.
all of you.
Deepavali.
Those who are in
Hari
India,
Om.
happy Deepavali to all of you tomorrow. Those who are in
Yes.
North America, happy Deepavali to you today.
Guruji,
Yeah.
when you talked about competition,
Hmm.
it's a necessary evil.
Ah.
Okay, it can create a lot of problems as the side effect. Jealousy, hatred, all of which are now witnessing in the World Cup. When
Everywhere.
India is winning, the kind of thing that are remarks passed by the Pakistan side, we can see everything.
Yeah.
Similarly, when you have to select a few people from a group of large group, how do we go about it? It's only by competition.
See, you have to understand what competition means. There are two aspects. One is you show yourself as the best without harming anybody or without harming the reputation of the other people. You play in a level playing field. Out of that, because of your ability, because of your skill, because of your hard work, you become the best. But is that what happens in competition? You have to
Like
ask.
for example, in Swayamvaram, there is one princess to be, and there are so many princes who are competing. Was Karna not?
That is not competition. That will become a competition provided there is something that all the princes are, a task is given to them.
They've all given the
does
task.
not, see, Swayamvaram does not necessarily involve a competition. Swayamvaram means what? The girl chooses the boy whom she wants to marry. Nala
Like here,
Damayanti also was Swayamvaram. Nala did not have to prove anything. Whether Rama was a Swayamvaram, where he had to break the Dhanush.
correct.
So it is not competition. It is trying to showcase your ability to do something which is, you can call it better than all the others.
Correct. Then it becomes indirect competition, no?
No, you cannot. It is providing a level playing field for everybody. If you call it a competition by providing a level playing field and everybody accept that, then that is not competition. That is showing your skill. That is where all
No.
of us are actually, English people,
No.
Englishman has given us a word competition. And he has given a definition of competition. Today, what is happening? Because of that competition, whether it is a corporate world, whether it is business, competition today
Agreed.
destroy the other. Whether I have the skill or I don't have the skill, whether I am the best or I am not the best, I will look for ways
To suppress
destroy
others.
people, and then I will come up because of that. That is what we have ultimately ended up by understanding what is competition.
In other words, you're saying that is unethical.
Exactly. So when you put the word competition itself, that becomes that whole word connotes unethical means to achieve what you want to achieve. That's why I said the difference is live and let live. You can be the best, but you are not destroying other people for that.
No, let me give you another example. If you take civil services exam, people who are all competing, they do not know each other.
The word we are using is competing, correct?
Correct. That's also a competitive exam they call, no?
The word competition, that word competition is wrongly used there. We call it very in the general parlance, we say competition. But what exactly is the nature of that? Are you competing with others? My answer is no. I have taken civil service examination probably in this group maximum number of times. I am trying to compete. Not, I would even I am trying to establish that I am better than others. In fact, in civil services examination, your success does not depend upon how you perform. In civil services examination, your success depends upon how poorly other people perform. And I'll give you the very solid, concrete example for that. I appeared in civil services examination, went into the interview and got my final result. I had scored 58% overall, written marks and this thing.
Interview.
Interview. 58% was my score. I did not get selected.
Okay.
In my previous year, because in my case, the cutoff point was 59% or 58 point something. Probably I missed it by few hundred, this thing. Because how they do, they have got X number of positions. And the results which have come, they put it on the order of merit. Then how many positions are there? Those people are taken and positions are filled.
That is true, yes.
That's how it happens.
Yes.
So whoever is there, whatever may be his performance, if he is falling below that number of positions category, he will not get selected. Correct? Now, when I appear, I don't know who my competitor are, what their abilities are, what their subjects they are taking and all that. I only do my best. I have chosen certain subjects. I do my best. I perform. My previous year of where I went at the interview, the cutoff was what 53%. So a guy who got 53% previous year got selected. Whereas this year I got 58%, I didn't get selected. So
inflation caught up.
Whether inflation or my point, I have done my best.
Agreed.
But I have no control over the results. My results are decided by how well other people have. If all others have performed poorly, even if I get 50%, I may get selected, I may be successful. Whereas, if some others have performed extremely well, I would probably not be even in the reckoning for interview. Because the interview is based upon the written marks.
Written, yes, agreed.
So what we have to understand is that is not competition. Destroying others is not competition. What is competition? Connotation of competition is you win at any cost. Fair, foul means you have to win. That is the teaching in management schools. Do they teach ethics, morality in management schools today? Ask yourself. They don't. Whereas our Shastra, our management MBA is all about ethics and morality only. They are not saying don't be the best. They are not saying you should not defeat your opponents. Another example I'll give you. Look at our Shastras. Wherever we say it is competition, 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 has there been this Swayamvara decided by two people fighting, sword fight, and then one person killing the other, and then the woman marries that person? Have you got a single story like that? It is all skill-based. Whether Arjuna was asked to shoot at the eye of that, that
fish,
or whether
fish.
Rama was asked to break everybody was given an equal opportunity. And the one who showed his skill as to be the best, in our today's parlance, we say that he won the competition.
Competition.
But
exactly.
That word competition itself is a very, very negative word from a Shastric point of view. Of course, we are using so many vocabulary, so many things, which is not real, but we take it as real. I mean, somebody asked me, that what is this mithya? This word mithya is used, Can you give me a solid example of mithya? Don't say the whole world is mithya, it is an appearance, and I don't believe in it. Then I told him, when the sun comes up in the morning, what do you call it? What do you call?
Sunrise.
Right.
Sunrise, dawn.
When
Yeah.
goes down in the evening, what do you call it?
Sunset.
Dusk or sunset.
Sunset. Sunrise, sunset are the two words we use throughout, right? Everybody uses. In fact, the whole world runs because of sunrise and sunset, correct?
Correct, absolutely.
Sunset, sunrise, a reality. No.
Sun never rises, sun never
Sun
sets.
never rises, sun never sets.
Agreed.
This
It's
is
a
the
relative
mithya.
thing.
What
It's a
is
relative
mithya?
thing.
What is mithya is what appears, what we are taking it as real, which is not the reality. If you understand this, you will understand the mithyatvam of this entire universe. This is what I told him. Now, I don't know whether he understood that or not. I understand that very. And there is a solid example for everything. We can see it is right in front of us, but we are not able to understand what is the significance of that. There is no sunset, there is no sunrise, but we are taking it as real. We get into action when the sun rises, we go to sleep when the sun sets. Because of all that, whole life is run by that. Every jiva is living by that. Is it reality? It is not. And that also we know. We also know
Correct.
very well, knowledge is there. Sun doesn't rise, sun doesn't set. We know that.
Said.
But we don't give recognition to that knowledge in our day-to-day activities. So this is what is mithyatva. That which is not real appears to be real. We all our transactions, vyavahara, we do taking it as real, but in fact, it has no reality at all. That is what is the whole jnanam about Vedanta is all about. So the word competition and all that we can debate. It's a word which has been impregnated in our brain by this Western, teaching.
No, the English.
Sorry, Krishnji?
English language is such that it doesn't carry exact meaning as we understand in our shastras.
Correct.
All the words. So that's a competition in practical sense may be there, that you are also exhibiting skills in comparison to everybody. But if you say, as per Western, compete at any cost, then it becomes that I was also in corporate. I was with Johnson & Johnson. So
Correct.
what they is at the end of the day, as a general manager, I don't know, you have to reach the target at any cost. Now, I used to ask my own boss, what do you mean by any cost?
You see, what is the English philosophy? Beg, borrow, or steal. And the word steal itself is a big, huge problem, rather.
Correct.
Shastra never says, in fact, it's not steal. So this is the whole difference between our philosophy and their philosophy. And unfortunately for us, we have gone far away from our philosophy. Today, we are struggling to establish or even to basically understand what our philosophy is, because we have got so much immersed in the Western philosophy. We are taking that as what, and all our problems in our life are all because of this philosophy only. When our child goes to the school, comes back with a report card having scored 97%, no parent will appreciate that child. What happened to the 3 marks is what every parent,
3%.
3% will every parent will focus. Does that help the child?
True.
His whole self-confidence, his whole self-respect is completely smashed in that one moment.
Shattered, yes, shattered.
Shattered
Yes.
he is. I have done so much. I studied. I got 97%. I am number 3 in the class. One got 100, another got 99. I got 97. I'm the 3rd in the class. There are 40, 50 students behind me. My parents don't see that at all. They only are looking at the 2 who got more mark than. This is what has made this word competition creep into our lives, creep into our brains, and then completely destroying the beautiful fabric of what a family relationship is. We will never, we have become so used to seeing only the negatives in other people, we fail to notice positives in other people.
Positives.
We fail to notice that. Whether it is in the office, whether it is at home, and all that, that has become so. When we are going through this Bhagavad Gita and all that, we need to reflect upon all these things. And that is what will make our self-improvement and this spiritual journey more smooth. That is the important message.
Absolutely.
So wherever Krishna is bringing these words and all that, we have to deliberate upon that, understand what it means in day-to-day life, practically what it means to me. It can't be just, I'm a mumukshu, can't be just lip service. I should be really a mumukshu, wanting that freedom. Let it be far away, miles away, doesn't matter. I need to keep moving towards that. And for that, what all things I need to do, these are all the things one needs to understand. So, come back, the word competition is a word which is frowned upon by Shastra. Shastra never say beg, borrow or steal. Never says that. It will say...
No, but if we interpret competition and instead of in a negative sense, that it helps improve your skills, not necessarily by downgrading others. If somebody else in the race has won, we look at that he has developed better skills than me. Now I have an opportunity to develop my skills. If I were to interpret it that way, then it becomes positive. So, because I don't think we can avoid competition.
Yeah. The word competition is given to us by Westerners. Right?
Yes. The word matsaram is there in Sanskrit.
Has been given by our Shastra. Right? 2 words. So the word competition, when the Westerners gave us, what was the intention behind that? What did they mean? You know where they started this word competition? Origin of the word competition? It has today come into the sports world and other world. Where it started? Can you know? Do you know that?
Yeah.
In the Middle Ages, they used to have these fights, sword fights and things like that between 2 people who claimed themselves to be very powerful. So you establish your power that you are the most powerful by fighting with another person who also is claiming to be powerful. Between the 2 of you, you compete. Whoever wins by destroying the other, he is recognized as the most powerful. This is the origin of the word competition. It was restricted only to this fight, whether it is sword fight or hand-to-hand fight, or whatever kind of warfare-related action which was reflected in order to select the best person. For example, in many tribes, the king who will lead the tribe, if there are more than one claimant, that will be decided by this method only. And that is how the word competition itself came into existence. Just look at the European history throughout the Middle Ages, you will find only this is as competition. Now, over a period of time, this competition first came into the sports field. Of course, there, when we say the 2 people fought with each other, one destroyed the other, that was acceptable social norm. Why? Even in Indian situation, we accept this kind of a competition between 2 Kshatriyas. Kshatriya Dharma allows this. Whereas other varnas, they don't allow this. What has now happened is, what was a Kshatriya Dharma kind of a thing in the European thing, that same concept is retained into, and then we have brought it into all other fields where it is not allowed. So that is
I
the
think the scarcity,
we are discussing this competition.
scarcity of resources is the reason for competition.
True, scarcity
Also, right.
of resources. Scarcity of resources, who has made? In fact, as Mahatma Gandhi said, there is enough resources in the world for
But-
everybody's need. But there is
Scarcity of
not
resources
enough
has resulted
resources for
in
even
crime,
one
not
person.
competition.
Sorry?
No, scarcity of resources has resulted in crime and not competition.
Scarcity of resources has resulted because of competition.
That's true, but that
You know,
resulted in
one person
crime.
has gone on accumulate. That's what I said. There is enough for
Hmm.
everybody's need, but there
That's
is
correct. Absolutely.
not enough for anybody's greed. Competition,
Greed. Correct.
greed leads to competition. Competition leads to amassing of wealth, amassing of resources. By depriving people who need it, you amass wealth for yourself.
But
Correct.
citing your own example about that IAS civil exam, civil
Mm.
services exam, the number of vacancies are fixed. You know, they cannot exceed that amount of money the government can spend on the officers, right? The pay or whatever, right? So that is a limit
So
on
that is
the
the goal.
positions available.
Yeah, that's true.
Correct. But whoever is capable and whoever has exhibited the skills, he gets it.
Yeah.
We don't need to be.
Don't call it competition. All I am saying is, fine, what you are saying is perfectly okay if the system works perfectly. That system also is corrupted. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
That is why there is a
everybody
saying,
knows
no?
vacancies are limited there. So starting is, I will also write the examination, prove myself, and then get selected. Does it happen? Are there politicians involved in that? So many questions, marks are there. See, whatever starts with the right intention can easily get derailed and get into all sorts of these things. And this is all coming from our understanding. Everything is fair in love and war.
In war.
Everything may be fair in war, but everything is not fair in love. In fact, according to us, our Shastra, our philosophy, everything is not fair in war also. There were rules to be followed in a war, in battles. In fact, Rama himself said to Ravana, when he could have actually killed Ravana, and it was dusk time, the battle has to stop. He said, go and come back tomorrow. Today's Rama, will he do that? The moment he feels that Ravana is weak, he will immediately finish him off. Today's Rama, that's what he will do. Not the
No, with technology, you got night vision devices and all kinds of things. So
night vision, let us fight.
So
But
the meaning
not
of the
supposed
sloga
to-
is, if you change your attitude from competition to contribution, life becomes a celebration.
Exactly. Beautiful words. I can quote that in some other class. Competition to contribution becomes celebration. Beautiful.
celebration. Beautiful.
That is what it is. Our society is a cooperative society. We believe in contribution. You don't think what I can take away from the society. What is the little I can contribute to the society for its growth, for everybody's benefit? That is our philosophy. So this is diametrically opposite to what the Western philosophy is. And unless our minds are totally cleared, our intellect is totally purified from this kind of a philosophy, we will continue. That is a good, opportunity for Bhagavad Gita classes to continue, for all this scripture teaching to continue, Bhagavatam to continue, and people like me to get an opportunity who have learned a little to share it with others. The whole purpose
It
is-
helps. It helps us to develop prasada buddhi. That enough.
yeah, that is enough, correct. If you develop
That's
prasada
enough.
buddhi, that is the core of
That's
everything.
enough.
Everything else will follow. Correct.
Okay. Thank you very
And
much.
here again, Guruji,
Wishing you
we
happy
all claim
Diwali.
that we are human beings, but it is a journey from human beings to being human.
Correct. Very good. Lot of very, very wise words are coming today. Very nice, very nice. Yeah.
In management
Human
science,
being a human. Exactly. Very nice.
in management science, there is a concept called prisoner's dilemma,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, which is also along these lines. Like you cooperate, everybody comes out ahead.
Yeah, correct. That's true. And there are a lot of examples of that. See, the problem is when the management schools or in management seminars, all they too teach all the right things. But when they go back to their offices, they do all the wrong things. No, nothing they learn from there. Right?
Vairagyam, sir. Smashana
Yeah.
Vairagyam. Vairagyam.
I mean, every subordinate who is ambitious will always keep looking for an opportunity to remove his boss and sit in his seat. If he knows, if he cooperate, the boss, what he will do, if the subordinate is very cooperative, he will make subordinate do all the job and he will go to his boss and claim that he has done everything. He will not give credit to the subordinate. So this goes on in every corporate world. This goes on.
That's what you said, that he competes with his own junior.
This is the competition. This is what is competition is about. If you want to use the word competition, you can use it in these contexts. And I can give you hundreds of such contexts. That is competition.
But in nature, Mother Nature also in evolutionary process itself, this is built into it. I think there is
That is
some
what they justify.
Darwinism.
Survival of the fittest is what they are, they are justifying evolution of nature and blah, blah, blah and all. But we are trying to misunderstand what nature is all about. If survival of the fittest, if we are applying to animals, that one animal kills each other and eats, why if survival of fittest in a similar manner does not apply to human beings? Tell me the answer. We should also become cannibals, kill each other, eat each other. Ultimately, everybody is doing all actions. One of the main aims is to fill your stomach so that you get food and you grow and things like that. And all. That is the ultimate, your stomach or your family stomach and all. That is the basic drive, right? So you should also be allowed, like a tiger does or like somebody else does. Even in animals, it is only certain carnivorous animals, the survival of the fittest is there. You cannot apply this rule to the entire animal. Does an elephant kill another elephant to or another animal to eat its food? So these Westerners have actually corrupted our mind so much that we don't apply our mind at all in analyzing what they are saying. We are just accepting blindly and following. There is nothing called survival. Nature has created everything. Nature sustains everything. That's why we say, Srishti Sthiti Laya Karta, Bhagavan. When Bhagavan has created this nature, he is equally interested in sustaining this nature, his beautiful creation. In fact, he is expanding it more. So what they are saying, survival of the fittest, and that's why we have got the concept of Kala. Whatever is born has to, die.
Right.
It has to die. And some animals, there are some living beings, especially low intellect, people, the one who do not have the intellectual capability, who are driven by their instincts, for their kind of a body, they have been, the Bhagavan has made them carnivorous so that they can, for their food, they can kill another animal and eat. Just because we give that example and then say, I will also do it. You don't see a goat, you don't see a cow, you don't see an elephant. There's so many animals which are there, which are all herbivorous animals. Camel doesn't kill anybody to have its food. And they just take one or two examples, survival of it. See, this is how they have brainwashed us for more than 200 years. And we are still in the delirium of that brainwashing. We refuse to apply our mind, analyze ourselves, understand ourselves. And the Machiavellian, English system of education continuing and further perpetrating this whole problem. In fact, this education system, yesterday I was seeing one small clip of Dushyant Sridhar, very beautiful. He says this Western thinking has reduced our classical music, our classical dance into art forms. They were never meant for art, they were meant for bhakti. Tyagaraja did not make composition because he wanted to make it an art. Tyagaraja composition, whether it's Tyagaraja, Annamacharya, whoever, all composers, their driving force was bhakti. They did not bother whether these verses will fit into Kalyani or these verses will fit into Todi Ragam and all. They didn't bother. It all came out of their devotion, their bhakti. Tyagaraja will never say, oh, this composition, it will fit into Kalyani very well, so you sing. They will never say. I have made this composition keeping Kalyani Raga Swaras into mind. Tyagaraja will never say. He will say, I have made this composition thinking, keeping Bhagavan Rama in my mind. Now, over a period of time, by setting a narrative, what these guys have done, they have converted that entire music into an art form. So now there is no bhakti at all in Carnatic music except for a few people who are practicing it. Everybody starts singing ragas and all that purely mechanically rather. Because of your intellect, you know all those swaras and all that very well and you are singing it. Where is the bhakti? Similarly, Natya Shastra. Natya Shastra was supposed to be an offering to Bhagavan. It used to be there only in temples. And dedicated people, dasis were there who were only taught this Bharatanatyam and all. Family children never learned. If you want to learn Bharatanatyam, you have to become a sannyasi, you have to give up yourself to service of the Lord. Learn Bharatanatyam. It was not meant for people's entertainment. It was meant to entertain the Bhagavan.
Yes.
So all these things one by one, he was actually talking in the context of how very planned manner they are trying to destroy our Sanatana Dharma. And it is not yesterday or today. Today it has come to the situation where they openly declare, I am going to do it. But over a period of last 50 years, 60 years, they have been doing all these things.
Progressively.
Progressively, they have been, without our understanding, putting all these Western thoughts in our mind, they have been eating away into our Sanatana Dharma. And now
polluted our minds.
Yeah, polluting our minds. And today, probably they are confident we have reached a critical stage. I can openly now declare I will destroy all the.
Now it is glaring. Now it is absolutely glaring.
So Dushyant Sridhar says every individual who calls himself a Hindu, whether he is a believer or not a believer, he has to protect the Sanatana Dharma. That is a prime duty for us. It has now really reached a critical stage rather. Openly declaring a war against us.
He has made an appeal that all the butts and all the religious heads, they should take it up very strongly and say that this is very, very, which is true. He said he was surprised why the heads are keeping quiet.
Heads are keeping quiet. The government is keeping quiet.
No, but at least our mutt heads and these people, they should come out, not in terms, but they can say that what this is, and not demean Sanatana Dharma.
Absolutely. And probably this is a God-given opportunity, like what happened to Adi Shankara. Adi Shankara's time also the same thing happened. The whole Sanatana Dharma was going down. Buddhism, Jainism, all these kind of things are coming. So Adi Shankara was born to revive the entire Sanatana Dharma, or Vedas, Vedic teaching, etc. Maybe this is similar opportunity the Srishti is facing, and then something will happen out of this. Only there are challenges, then people become competitive.
Absolutely.
Dharma Samstaya Sambhavami Yuge.
Sambhavami, yuge. Hopefully something will happen.
Avatara will be.
But we
Okay,
should
thank you
not.
very much.
Thank you.
This is another thing. Everybody says let somebody else do it. My point is,
Absolutely.
Passing the buck.
that was Dushyant Sridhar's point of view. Every individual, whatever he can do, start with your family. Teach your children what Sanatana Dharma is. It is a reverence, culture of reverence. Everything we have reverence. Respect everything. That is the Sanatana Dharma. When you start respecting even your enemy, there will be no competition.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
If the enemy wins,
Very good.
you will say, okay, the right person has been, he has deserved to win, he won. I won't be jealous. I will not have any matsaryam because of that. That is Sanatana. That is what we have to establish, re-establish. Start with the family, start with your friends circle, explain to them what Sanatana Dharma is. Even if that friend says, no, I know what is Sanatana Dharma, you tell you don't know Sanatana Dharma, I will tell you what is Sanatana Dharma. That is how we have to start. So anyhow, all these discussions can go on and on and on. But
Thank you very much, Guruji.
important.
Thank you very much.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Happy
Diwali.
Happy Diwali, Guruji.
Happy Diwali once again to all of you. Hari Om. Thank you.
Take care of your health. You seem to be having a cold.
No. That is the winter in North America. Some slight cold and things like will be there. Even though I keep myself very, very well protected with whenever I go out, of course, rarely go out with cap and ear muffs and one full sweater, one jacket, everything. But still, you can't, I mean, we are not used to this kind of a cold, continuously. So that's okay. I mean, taking Vicks vapor rub medicine, cough syrup, everything is going on. But it will continue for another 1 month till I return to India. So it is a choiceless situation for me. Whatever comes, let it come. I will accept it. That's all. Okay. I'm glad that
Maybe the
I'm
dry,
glad
it
that
may be
it
the
has
dry
not reached
weather
the
that
stage where
connecting.
I'm not able to take the class. That stage has not been reached. So that's okay. No fever is there. Nothing is, no infection. Just old symptoms. That's all. Okay. Hari Om.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om. Thank you.